That was really well done.
Howdy, folks. Woody Wallace from NeedCoffee.com here with a special guest. It's Roxy Spaz House again in the back seat.
Hi, folks.
And we're back again for another Wayhomer review, a very special Wayhomer review, as you can tell by Rox's festive hat. We've just left a theater, a space, one would say, and we're here to talk about the thing that we have seen on our way home, because it just saves time that way. And today we're here to talk about medieval times. Yes, that's right.
I'm a wizard.
That's right. So I am the king, and this is my necromancer, who is thanked on the way out for providing such a great show, since, you know,
Right.
she was bringing the knights back from the dead after they got skewered and stuff.
So much bloodshed.
Oh, it was amazing. So okay. Well, I suppose synopsis. We should start with synopsis. Synopsis is this:
Good versus evil.
good versus evil, and sometimes you just want to be gnawing on a chicken while you watch people on horseback ride around and mock kill each other.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
so,
yes.
Yeah. So I mean, it's basically a jousting nightly type tournament thing, kind of like
full of pageantry and theater.
Yes, it's like for the SCA folks, except in this case they get paid.
It's SCA for the mundanes.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's good. But done so in a non-threatening and entertaining manner. But yeah, so basically you have an arena type scenario where you have room for horses to run around in with pesky people on their backs, and there's a king, and it turns out not a queen but a princess, because she was looking sort of young and we were feeling sort of creepy about it. Then we found out she was supposed to be his daughter, and it was still creepy, but that's okay.
He didn't marry her off yet.
No. So it's like she's
so the kingdom is in turmoil because that's all he's got his bargaining chip for.
Yeah, seriously. So yes, you've got a chancellor on horseback who looks like a very, a very formal Bill Bailey, and at times,
but not very funny.
But was funny and not being funny. By the script was not funny, which is every time it doesn't work out on Weekend Justice, it's in the script. So yes, and they've just brought all of us in there to root for knights and whatnot, and watch them as they put on colors and try to smack each other.
Lancing. Jousting.
Yep.
Fighting on horseback.
Yep.
Fighting on foot.
Yep.
Many sparks and stuff.
Sparks. Yes.
Lots of sparks and smoke.
Yes. So there's your synopsis.
Yes.
Okay, so this is my first time at Medieval Times.
My first time.
So we're both Medieval Times virgins.
Very much.
We've lost our cherry on the same night. Basically, first of all, when you go in, there's the gift shop, and there's a bar, which was amusing because they had all of these various and sundry drinks that you could get. That
tankards.
Yes.
And things.
Giant steins and hurricane glasses. So you're in a courtly situation, walking around with hurricane glass full of rum and whatnot, which was tempting. But the drink I was looking at was $19, and I was like, well, I think I'm good.
This was $20, but you get this thing that says royalty.
Yeah, so she's automatically. That's like she upgraded her position in society for $20.
That's right.
Which
See
is
how
not bad.
cheap that is?
Yeah. So she did the workaround. So yeah, I had a long bar. You had a gigantic, and this is the Atlanta one, obviously. You had a gigantic fireplace situation, which honestly, if you could think about it, would have been great during the polar vortex situations that we've been dealing with.
The cool thing.
Tell me what the cool thing.
The woman.
What a transition.
Lady Anne with the hawk.
Yes, the falconer.
The falconer.
Yes.
And she had a bruise right here from the owl that was on display.
A ginormous freaking owl.
Yes.
It was like like out of Blade Runner.
That was so cool because you can get right up to Lady Anne and the Falcon.
Right. Thank you.
And that was really
Yeah, I had a crown malfunction.
And I asked her, where'd you get the bruise? You know, because not a lot. She didn't really put a lot of Maybelline on. It's like she was good with the bruise that she got because it is a badge of honor.
Right.
So she wore it proudly.
A nice owl kiss, I think, is what it's called in the burgeoning falconry industry.
Because owls are raptors.
Yes, they are. And she did come out and do her bit for the show,
Really cool.
which was cool. Yes, and as I pointed out, they did it right before they brought out the meat, which I think would be awesome if it would just for one time they screwed up the order of things and everyone's sitting there with half a chicken on their plate and they let loose a falcon in the arena.
I think eyes would be lost, but that's just me.
Well, the eyes normally have it. So yes, she was wandering around with the Chancellor. They had all manner of knightings going on. They had all kinds of packages.
For a mere $20, you
Yes.
could be knighted.
That's true.
Mere $20.
But see, here's the thing, Rox, is that you were smart in that you became royalty for $20 and you got to drink a beer at the same time.
That's right.
So just, as always, Rox, follow Rox.
Yes.
So the space was really nice before you go in. And yes, it was wise, as Desmond pointed out, to show up early so that we could get into a specific section with specific row and be able to sit where you want. You don't want to get there too early because then you wind up on the end, but the seats were all pretty good.
Yeah.
It was sort of like medieval Cirque du Soleil with lots of dressage, I think would be the sort of staging in the round.
And I don't really think, and the way they choreographed, yes.
Yep.
I've had a big tankard. And I did drink it all, but this is like soda now.
Yeah, I know.
Give up the crowd.
However,
Here.
I got it.
they made sure that during the events, everybody got to see something. So it wasn't like, Ringling Brothers, where it's like, there's something over there.
Right.
That there was always passing and stuff. And the knights and stuff made sure that they made eye contact with a lot of the crowd.
Right.
And I got a flower.
Yeah,
Because you know what? When you hold this up and you yell huzzah, somebody will notice you.
Yep. Of course, she was doing that while the villain was out too, and he noticed.
Yes.
But no. So the space was good. They also had a little dungeon area, which for an extra $2 you could go and tour a bunch of horrific
Medieval items of torture.
Yes, there you go. So
because back then they didn't have TV.
Right. So
and they didn't have, Lifetime movies.
No,
so they made their own.
Like I said, these people that complain about too much violence on television or violent video games. No. You don't understand. Until you've seen someone stretched on the rack, and everyone else sitting around eating whatever the medieval equivalent of popcorn was, then I think you'd be fine with a little Call of Duty. All right.
Yeah.
So, but now that's before you got into the show, and then into the show itself. Of course, they're feeding you during the show.
Yeah.
Which was, and so I mean the food was actually really good.
Really good.
So it was like soup, and you have no silverware.
Yeah.
So be prepared, especially if you've got a beard. Just be prepared to be messy. I'm just saying. So soup, and then they had some bread, like half chicken.
Chicken.
Rib.
It was a good sized chicken.
No, it was.
Too.
It was good. The rib was good, and then you had a bit of potato.
It ye old barbecue-y sauce.
Yes, of course, just like they used to, because they had to have spices in the old days because meat would go bad because they had no refrigeration. So it was like that, but not bad meat. And then there was a pastry afterwards, and they had some sort of way to have semaphores with your mug to say what sort of drink that you wanted. It was that was fascinating, and coffee afterwards. And I'm like, well, you didn't even mention coffee, so that's like bonus. Thank you for the coffee. So the food was good. So And that's what I was sort of worried about, because I was like, well, I mean, show interesting, but if food's not good, then I'm going to be like hungry and then, worried about starving. But as the show
it's an
itself,
hour and a half show.
Hour and a half
the
show.
entire thing so when you consider showing up early, you're being entertained by, the falconer and stuff like that. So you're, 2 hours? 2 hours of a really good time. And we helped out the needy, the poor. No, well, we gave, it was canned vegetable
night.
day.
Oh, that's true. That's right.
So we helped the peasants.
That's right. Well, that's the thing, is what we've noticed is that if you just keep an eye on the website, if you want to go to your local Medieval Times, keep an eye on the website, because they have specials all the time. They had a Dragon Con special not too long ago. So there's ways to save money and go. But the show itself sort of escalated in its coolness.
Yes.
Because you had horse tricks, which, first of all, horses are large mammals, okay? So anyone who can get them to do anything other than frighten me, I'm like, well done, okay? Because I don't like animals that are larger than I am. So that was cool. Then you got into, okay, now we're going to start doing tricks on the horses, which was cool. Yeah. Then you got into fighting on horses.
Fighting.
So I'm like, how do you have enough? I can barely concentrate enough to review things and drive at the same time, and yet you are on a horse. And though I love my car, it is not sentient. It does not move around on its own. I sort of, for the most part, control what it does. So you have an animal that you're astride, that's between your legs, and you're having to remember how to do fight choreography? Wow. That's amazing.
And a form of acting. We were in the green section, and we had the magical Green Knight.
Yep.
And he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, these guys, plus the fighting, they have to make sure they're engaging with the audience.
Yep.
And at one point, whoever is a victor, they have to go and present the ribbon to be the queen of the tournament. So there is an element of acting, not high acting, but enough to engage people for 2 hours.
Interactivity. You have to remember to interact with folks. And this after, they're like falling off of horses and tumbling off of horses, which I'm like, all right, I can barely imagine getting onto a horse, like seriously getting atop a horse, right, to ride it. Once you got me on it, I think it would take like an act of Congress to get me off it. So to like voluntarily leap off of a running horse and tumble
at a velocity that with one of us we would break hips.
Oh, we'd be dead. We'd be dead.
Yeah, we'd be dead. Yeah.
We'd be dead. So very impressive. Even when you're like, well, this is obviously stage fight choreography, but they are beating the shit out of those shields.
Yeah.
It's like
real swords.
Yeah, with swords, sparks flying off and stuff like that.
The flail work,
yeah.
And even like the mace work. I mean, using a flail, you have that element, of there's a ball on, the end of a chain,
right?
And it's a you're talking 2 feet at least, for a piece of chain, and you're swinging that around, and Lord knows, we saw a couple of swords zipping by pages or squires, and you're like, oh, somebody can get skewered in this who's not a knight, so just like the rodeo clowns and stuff, everybody's got to be on top of the choreography during this whole entire thing. If not, somebody will get hurt.
Right. Yeah, lots of opportunities for folks to get hurt. Not anything that we saw during the show, thankfully, but it was still very impressive. And there was a little bit of a story going on as well. So you had rivalries happening. So
and as an audience member, as we're cheering and stuff, you can actually catch the eye or the notice of the actors and stuff. So so I became friends with the villain. No surprise there. And it was a lot of fun. I honestly, in the history of me doing anything, I would never have thought of going to one of these things. But it was freaking fun.
Yeah,
if you get a good group with you and stuff, and everybody gets into it, it is a lot of fun if you're thinking for you know, somebody's birthday, you know, anniversary, you could get knighted for your birthday and stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I was very happy with it, and I thought, you know, especially with the canned good discount, that it was good value for money, actually. So I don't know, cup wise, Rox, what would you say cup wise out of 5 cups?
I would say 4.
Yeah, that's what I was
Because they
thinking.
have tankards for sale.
Would have been a 4.5 if you had gotten the tankard for free or less money.
That's right.
So just for future reference, you can bribe Rox for cup ratings with a tankard or a discounted tankard.
Yes.
Bear that in mind. So yeah, I think we're in violent agreement. 4 out of 5 cups for Medieval Times Atlanta. Well done, all of you maniacs with your swords and your. Oh, and here's the other
meet
thing.
and greet afterwards.
Oh yeah, the meet and greet afterwards. But here's the other thing: is that yes, you have your serving wenches and people and whatnot, but they actually get out onto the field as the king's household staff.
The pageantry.
Yeah, so they have to go out and perform as well as like, and I'm sure they're going. Oh, and next comes the bread. I mean, it's like how insane would that be? It's sort of like dinner theater except with more sparks.
Yes.
So yes. So recommended for Medieval Times if there's one in your area. Huzzah indeed. Huzzah. There's my crown as well. And I don't have a tankard because you shouldn't drink and drive, kids. You shouldn't drink and drive.
It's so good.
You should drink and review from the back seat, though. That's fine. But drinking and driving is bad.
Right. Don't text.
Don't text and drive either.
You know, getting quills out on parchment. It just goes all over.
You shouldn't drink and text either, because that can cause problems.
Yes.
Not that I would know.
And don't use melting wax.
No.
It's messy.
So, all right. That does it for this particular Wayhomer. And we'll get back home eventually.
Yeah.
So we have to go forward in time to the right.
Because I'm a wizard.
She is. She is definitely a wizard. She's a wizard, all right. Until next time in the Wayhomer Reviews, this is Widget Walls and
Rox's Spaz House.
Rox's Spaz House, the mage, saying see ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Do you want to do a shout out to Kristen who has to start selling insurance now?
Oh God, leave that in.
And that was Thespia, your Coda Wrangler. Okay, I think that's it.
You're not going to give the girl a shout out.
No, you just did.
You just did.
That was it. Yes, they can.